Hello, my name is Lewis and welcome to Gathering the Magic. And yes, we have another deck tech today, and it is the first commander deck that I ever built around, and it is Tishana, Voice of Thunder. Now don't forget to like this video, and as always do subscribe for all future MTG content, and let's get straight into it. As with the Whaddup deck, there are sort of three main focal points, or three sort of points of attack for this deck, and I will go through that during the video. For now though, we have the lands, and there are 38 lands in this. There's about 12 islands, 8 forests, and then the rest. We've got 2 castles from Throne of Eldraine in there, which are brilliant. And then of course we've got all the multiple ways to get that forest or island, which we'll just quickly skip through. Bounce land there. And then we've got the commander staples, the exotic orchard, the command tower, and here we go, ways to just search out for those lands: Fable Passage, Ash Barrens, Evolving Wilds, giving you all the options to sack and sort of fix your mana. Again, all very standard things that you'd see in a commander deck. Temple of the False God to get 2 mana, Reliquary Tower, and one of the key points in this deck is building all around Tishana's no maximum hand size. So here, having Reliquary Tower is a key part of that piece. And the last land, Rogue's Passage, which again will link up very well with Tishana later. So phase 1 for Tishana we're going to call Get Rampy. We can have all those early staples, so Wayfarer's Bauble here. We're going to have the Cluestone, the Cluestone, the Key Rune, the Locket, all these mana rocks, of course, Commander with a Soul Ring there, and Cultivate. And then we're going to have tons of creatures that you can have that mana option for. So there you've got a Rixsmithies, you've got Marily Pixie, flying option, and give you a forest or an island. Llanowar Tribe, 3/4/3. Elysian Caryatid, again perfect, 1 mana of any colour, potentially 2 mana as well. Leafkin Druid, again the same as Elysian Caryatid. And Gaia Engineer, and there we go, that's a perfect option to add forest and island. And Kinnan here from Ikoria. And then we've got 2 Planeswalkers. One is good for ramp, one is good for annoying your friends. So here, Freyalise perfect. Keep adding elves that you can then again tap for mana. Or again, that middle one is perfect. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. And then one of my favourite cards, one of people's most hated cards, Oko Thief of Crowns. Get him in, just start elking people straight away. I know good old meme master Steve over at Instagram, he absolutely hates this card. There's been so many Oko memes already. So undeserved, Steve. So you've got about 15 different ways of ramp there, and you really need it, because Tishana costs 7 to get out, 5 generic and a forest and a blue, so it's not a cheap commander. And the second part of our plan we call No Limits, because we really go all on that no maximum hand size. We saw Tishana here, and we've seen the Reliquary Tower, and then we just fill our deck with all of those ways to no maximum hand size. Spellbook, absolutely perfect, have no maximum hand size from the get-go. Nezahal Primal Tide, again a really powerful creature, expensive but perfect. It also gives you that drawing card option, which will again, if you've got Tishana out, it will beef Tishana up, because the more cards you have in your hand, the stronger she will become. And there we go. And also, it's got that option to bring Nezahal back, which is just perfect. And now we've got some Eldraine options here, and we've got Folio of Fancies, no maximum hand size, and it's good to get everyone to draw cards and then punish them for it. The Magic Mirror, which again is expensive, but if you've got a lot of instants and sorceries in your graveyard, it can become very cheap, and each turn you are drawing an extra card. Praetor's Council, return all cards from your graveyard, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. And lastly, which is just, it's so good, it's won me the game once or twice before, draw X cards if it's 10 or more, shuffle them all into your library, draw X cards, untap 5 lands, and have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. It's a wicked, wicked card. Okay, and then that is going to lead us on to number 3, which is we're going to call Power, Protect and Punish. So as you can see here, with this no maximum hand size, we're going to be drawing as many cards as physically possible. Oh, sorry, lost a bit of focus there. We're going to be drawing as many cards as physically possible, beefing up Tishana, protecting her, and then just killing off those opponents. So we'll put that back there. Yeah, let's look at all the ways to power her up. So these are all basically drawing cards and just beefing up Tishana. You've got Ponder, an absolute classic. Opt, another perfect 1-drop scry and draw card. Ominous Seas from Ikoria. Again, whenever you draw a card, you're not only beefing up Tishana, but you're getting one step closer to creating an 8/8 to put on your side of the board. Shielding Plaques, I found, is a very good old card. Draws a card, and again it starts that protection that you really want to do for Tishana. Okay, the Great Henge, another Eldraine. I think just really should be any staple in green. It does so much, and it's really not that hard to get out. Okay, Give and Take is another perfect option. If you're putting loads of counters on a creature, you use the Fuse mechanic, do both, and then potentially draw so many cards. I've done it before and drawn up to like 20 cards. It's just ridiculous. Jace's Erasure. Now this is perfect for not only, affecting you're drawing cards, but then you're also potentially milling your opponents, which in this deck can really add up fast. Okay, then we've got Teferi's Tutelage. Draw a card and then discard a card. And then obviously whenever you draw a card, your opponent mills 2 cards. So you're just having a few mill options there for your opponents, just to really put that threat out there. And then another Teferi related card. If you draw a card, except the first one, draw 2 cards instead. And then get on some drawing creatures. So we've got Tatiova. Whenever a land enters, you draw a card and gain a life. Fairy Vandal, which is just such a great card. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Fairy Vandal. So you're beefing up Fairy Vandal and you're beefing up Tishana. Zagana, Utopian Speaker. Whenever it enters the battlefield, if you control another creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. And it's got that Adept to put 4 +1/+1 counters on it. And one of my favourite cards from Eldraine, we have Fairy Formation. It's got that flying, it's a 5/4, and it can create creatures for you and draw cards, which is just wicked. Keeper of Fables, another Eldraine. Again, just another draw card mechanic for you there. Spectral Sailor, another blue staple, flash, flying, and the option to draw a card. Law Scale Cottle, I think recently reprinted in M21, wasn't it? And it's just so good. Whenever you draw a card, you beef it up. Jungle Barrier, nice easy protection. Defender, and again when it ETBs, draw a card. And one of my favourite cards, Arcanist the Omnipotent. Again, expensive to play out, but again you can tap it and draw 3 cards, and you've got the option to return it if it is being targeted or if you just fancy it. As with the last video, I will put the full sort of deck tech sheet on Moxfield and link that below if you are interested. And again, working with that third strategy, we're powering Tishana and now we're protecting her. So we've got things, counter spells galore, things to return to opponents' hands. So Quench, Void Slime, one of my favourite cards recently in that Slime Prime set. Counter target spell, activate ability or triggered ability. Sublime Epiphany from M21. It's an expensive one to play, but it does so much, and in a game of Commander it's just perfect. Frilled Mystic, another flash creature, and again you can counter target spell, any spell. Rewind, again counter target spell, and then you can untap those lands as well. So it's basically a free counter spell. Why would you not have that? Return to Nature, again destroy artifact enchantment or exile a card. And then we've got a few little board wipe type cards. Aether Gale, return 6 target non-land opponents to their owner's hands. And Displacement Wave, return all non-land opponents with converted mana cost X or less to their owner's hands. Sorry, having some focusing issues there. Again, perfect for Tishana because she costs a lot, so odds are you're going to return a lot of things and not her. Wilderness Reclamation, again, is just perfect in Commander. Untap all lands you control and then your opponents will be scared of you. But again, with Tishana hopefully having a million cards in your hand, you've untapped all your lands and then you're looking like a massive threat as well. Diminish, really old card, not in great condition, but I just love it. It's a 1-drop blue and target creature becomes 1/1 until the end of turn. Ichthyomorphis, again another warping of your opponent's creatures. Turn that opponent's commander into a 0/1 fish and then it can't attack, and it's probably stuck as it is. And then we've got Titanic Growth. Target creature gains +4/+4 until the end of turn, another sort of staple. And Mind Control, a card that's just been in this deck since the start. I just really like this card. There's nothing more to it, and just that chance to control creature. And then Call to Mind, return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Again, another card that's just been in the deck since its inception, and one that I've found has dug me out of a hole plenty of times. And then we move on to, again, what I said, the protection. You want to protect Tishana, give it haste and shroud with the lightning greaves, and give it hexproof and haste with the Swiftfoot boots. Okay, and then we've got, I think, to finish off, just sort of the miscellaneous cards that you always have. And a few of these cards are just to beef up and protect all of your creatures. So here we have Nalia's Forerunner from Theros Beyond, and again it just gives everything trample. Archetype of Imagination gives everything flying, and Aggressive Mammoth gives all your creatures trample. So it's just widening that board, giving you more options. And then we've got Maro that I keep packing in mystery booster boxes, but again it's perfect. It runs sort of hand in hand with Tishana. Its power and toughness equal to the number of cards in your hand. Sage Owl, again a nice early sort of flying chump blocker, but again it just allows you to fix what cards are coming up. And then lastly, Master Biomancer. Again, hopefully with things like Freyalise, you're getting a lot of creatures out, and then they're all entering with +1/+1 counters on. And again, my favourite little easy combo is you get Tishana out and then you have Rogue's Passage out. Hopefully Tishana's like a 21/21, let's say, that'd be perfect. And then, you know, get Rogue's Passage, tap that, Tishana can't be blocked, boom, your opponent is eliminated. And lastly, if you are still watching, just the short story of how this deck came to be. When I first got into Magic, I bought a random box of miscellaneous cards off eBay, and one of them was this card, Ludovic's Test Subject, which again you can put 5 counters on and it becomes 13/13 trample. And when I first got into Magic, I just thought this card was absolutely insane, so I sort of built a whole blue deck around it, and then that evolved to blue-green, and then that evolved into Tishana and no maximum hand size. So there's a long and boring history to it. But yeah, that is my Tishana deck. You get rampy, you have no limits to that maximum hand size, and then you power, protect and punish your opponents. I hope you have enjoyed it. I do have plenty more Commander decks, so could do more of these in the future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button, and always subscribe for future MTG box openings, top 10 lists and things like this. Don't forget to check us out on our socials, which are linked down below. And also, don't forget, if you're signing up for Card Market, use our code, which again is in the description. Help out this little MTG channel. For now though, I am all tapped out, so I'll see you in the next video.